You're a man with no friends right now, and you're probably wondering, what am I doing here? What am I doing talking about men with no friends? What would I know? And you're probably right. I don't have the male experience that you have, but I recently did a video talking about women with no friends. I have no friends as a woman, and it's got nearly like 400,000 views, and it's got nearly like 7,000 comments on that video of other women talking about how they have no friends and their experience as well. And within those comments, I had some men in those comments, and they were saying, there are men here as well. You know, there are men with no friends. You know, can you talk about that as well? And I thought, well, how can I talk about this? I don't live the man experience. I don't go through this world like living as a man. But you know what? I can give my perspective as a woman with no friends. And actually, I think it's quite interesting for me. I think I'm going to do that. I might delete this later. I don't know how I feel about it, but let's just go for it. I just don't think this is just a women issue. You know, I didn't really want to talk about how I had no friends because a lot of people deemed it as very much like you're a loner. If you're a guy, you may feel this as well. You may feel like you're a bit of a loser. I felt times it felt this. A bit of a loner. It's a bit of a red flag. People associate you with not being able to communicate well, effectively. Maybe they consider you to be an outsider, ostracized from the group, socially inept, socially not being able to form networking, and you know, you are not a social person. You've got all these different things going on with you. And so when you have all these negative labels already attached to you, it makes it kind of like an uphill battle, to be honest, because you're fighting against the societal norms of what's considered to be good and what's considered to be not good. And, you know, there are, as I said in my other video, there are many different circumstances and reasons to may be pertaining to the reason why we have no friends, and especially with men, that might be the same. You know, it may be a circumstance where you've moved jobs, you've moved different phases in your life. Maybe you have decided those friends that I have in my environment were not serving me good, and you've made the courageous decision to actually detach yourself and go on to a different path, a better path, a path that you feel that's more positive, and to associate yourself with friends or maybe just yourself right now, because you have identified that the people that you were hanging around with before were not benefiting you. Or it could be you may find it difficult to socialize, or maybe you don't want to socialize, and right now you don't have any friends. And I just think we're being very harsh on this whole reality of having no friends. Like, it's very easy just to get friends. I do not think it's an easy process just to find friends. Actually, let me retract that. It is kind of an easy process if you want to find people, but ask yourself, do you want to find people that you actually want to hang around with, that are actually going to better your life, that are actually going to go towards things that you want to go towards, you know, quality friendships? And again, that takes time. That's not going to be something that's going to be just an easy fix. You can find some guys to hang around with. Okay, cool, you can do that. But are they giving you quality to your life? Are they giving you peace? Are they making you feel more healed? I just think, like, with men, I think it's, you know, it's kind of like a different dynamic with women. And this is really what I wanted to talk about, to be honest, was the idea of healing, basically. And I just don't know if we're giving men the space and opportunity to allow them to heal, or giving them the space to heal. Because just say, for instance, you decided, okay, maybe you are going through something as a man right now. Maybe this space in your life requires you to have no friends. Maybe it requires you to be just by yourself for a moment. Maybe you need time to heal. But that time that you're giving to heal is also looked on as a weakness by society. You're not allowed to heal because you're a man. And that's what we've been telling you for so long. For society, since we're a young age, even from parents in your childhood, we've been indoctrinated and we've been programmed from an early age for men. Sorry, I'm saying we as I am a man, sorry for you. But in general, we as human beings have been programmed for a young age. But if I'm talking specifically for men, I think they've been programmed to the idea that allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to show weakness is a weakness. Showing vulnerability is a weakness. Showing emotional sensitivity. Say if you want to cry, you want to let your emotions out, you want to express yourself, you cannot do that without being judged, without being told, or without being felt that you're a weak man. This is not a masculine trait, we've been told. To show emotion, it's not masculine. It's not the idea of what masculinity is, okay? And it's not a strong man, which as a woman who I would say is looking at this, I think that's totally wrong. I don't think there is, I don't think by showing emotional intelligence, emotional regulation, emotional awareness of self, and allowing yourself to have a space to express these emotions, I don't think that's weak in any way. If anything, I think it's much more courageous and much more in tune with responding to your body and responding to how you're feeling. And by responding to that earlier on will allow you in the long term to have emotional maturity, in a sense. It will allow you to increase your emotional intelligence. It will allow you to perceive others' emotions better. It will allow you to be a better rounded man, I believe, because it allows you then to, when you get into a stressful situation, to regulate those emotions, because you are consistently doing that, say, throughout the year. But if you're not allowing yourself to release those emotions, to allowing yourself to heal, allowing yourself to do those things, then when you have things like these things like no friends, you feel like a loser, you feel stressed, your job, everything's going wrong, right? In your mind, it feels extremely intense, I can imagine. If you cannot ever express yourself, I can imagine how isolating this must feel, As a woman with no friends, I can regulate my emotions without judgment. I can cry. I can go to someone and seek for help. And in an open space without being frowned upon, really. And I can do that. There are different challenges with women with no friends and men with no friends, I believe. It's equally as hard with women with no friends. But the men's experience and their challenges, I believe it's around the experience of being able to express yourself. And that can feel, I can imagine, so isolating. Really, really isolating. Like no one completely understands you. And I just want to let you know from a woman's perspective that you having no friends, okay, from a woman's perspective, to me, we need to stop putting people into these categories. So like, luckily the women on my channel are quite healed, but I did see something the other day and it was an ick that a man had no friends. And I was just like, what is this world coming to? Do you know what I mean? Like, how are we going to just judge someone on having, purely based on having no friends, and then call them a certain label? This is totally wrong. We're not taking in all the societal pressures that a man has to deal with. And I think if women can be more compassionate to the male's experience, I'm not saying they're not. Women definitely have more empathy and compassion than men. That's just the way our brains are wired. But if we can start, I wouldn't say normalizing having no friends, because that's not what I'm trying to encourage either. But I want to normalize that there are certain times phases in our life that we may have no friends, and you may have no friends. Maybe that's a conscious choice that you've made right now. Maybe it isn't a conscious choice and you're trying to work on your communication and social skills and getting better, and that is fine. But I just want to get us into this place where we've got to understand men are up against not being able to express their emotions, not being able to have the space to do that, and to maybe they need some help to try and find some friends. Maybe they don't have the confidence right now to go out there and make friends. Maybe they're in a stage where they just need to pour the time into themselves. Maybe you just need to cry, and it's okay. But we need to understand that experience. Maybe we can't fully understand it, but we need to have compassion to not label people in a certain bracket of things. And another thing that I've noticed as well is, like, I was kind of researching some stuff. Yeah, so for instance, I just wanted to talk about this very briefly. It's like, so there is a part of the brain, like neurons within the brain, called the amygdala. And basically it's like the alarm system in your brain, basically. And, you know, it goes off when there is stress and it's triggered, you know. And for instance, you're a man with no friends, right? And you may, right now, you might be a bit down, okay? You might feel a bit lonely. You might feel, I don't know, you might feel a bit lost in this world, in this phase of your life. And, you know, you're reacting. Men kind of have a higher reaction to the amygdala response than women, and are more reactive in that. And we have the prefrontal cortex, which is like the brain's manager. So it's managing all these emotions, and its job is to manage, regulate the emotions. And it's there to help calm down the amygdala, okay, reaction to the stress, this loneliness maybe, or this fear to go and meet new people, etc. And so that's the job of how they work together. And I think it's been proven that men have a less connectivity between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. Their relationship and connectivity is much less than a woman's, because women go through life being able to express their emotions. We're used to regulating our emotions. We have a higher emotional intelligence as women. This is a fact. It works very well for men in a fight or flight response. For instance, say you're in a dangerous situation, you can react much quicker than a woman can. And that is your response to the amygdala. You react much quicker. And that is, you know, part of why you're more reactive in the amygdala response. And it's kind of, that's why, you know, men are kind of better at protecting women, or protecting in dangerous situations. They react faster and they make decisions quickly and more impulsive in that moment. Yeah. So it's really helpful in those kind of situations. Where I think society is not helping this situation for men is you're being conditioned in the society to not being able to learn in a longer period of time. So you say you're an adult now, you're a fully grown adult man. You've gone through your whole life not being able to regulate your emotions without judgment. You've not been able to have a space to even allow yourself to cry, you know. Even if you want to do it by yourself, you might even feel guilt and shame and weak as a man for crying. Even by yourself, you might feel those feelings. So you've gone through that. You've gone through everyone telling you your whole life, you know, don't cry, be tough, do this. So where is your time to regulate and learn how to regulate your emotions? You don't know how to, because you've never been told to, you've never been given the space to. And now all of a sudden, you know, your prefrontal cortex is like not great really at regulating this and calming down different things in your brain. So it's like, you know, women, we've been given a space where we can regulate our emotions. We we are better at regulating our emotions. We have a higher connectivity with the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. We have a higher connectivity between that because we are used to regulating our emotions. We're encouraged to actually share our emotions, and we're more empathic and more compassionate in that kind of sense, because that's just the way our brains are kind of wired a little bit differently. But also we've been given the societal space to do that freely, and actually we're encouraged to do that in a way, and we're not deemed as weak. Actually, we're deemed as empathic and compassionate when we do that. We're not deemed as weak, unfortunately, the label that you're given. So it's like, okay, so then when it comes to a stressful situation, like you have no friends, you're feeling a bit, maybe you're feeling a bit ostracized, a bit lonely, it's just a little bit harder now for you to regulate this. And that's why you could, if you stay in this feeling of, maybe you feel like you're alone in this, maybe you feel like no one else is there, maybe you feel like there's no other man out there with no friends, you're the only one like this, and it can feel really like, because no one's here to talk about it. Who are you going to talk to? Who are you going to talk to about this? If you talk to someone about this, they're just immediately going to look at you and think something's going on. This is very weak. I mean, you're not going to talk if you have a girlfriend. You probably don't want to talk to her about it. If you've got, family, you probably don't want to talk to them about it. So who are you going to talk to? And it's just like, yeah, so you're just there by yourself. And I just want you to know that you're not alone. You're really not alone in this. I can guarantee you there's many, many men out there with no friends. And it's not entirely your fault, actually. It's just the way society's been set up, and what you've been taught your whole life is that you cannot show emotions. And it actually has a bigger impact because you are not given the tools to regulate your emotion over a longer period of time. And this then has an effect, because if you stay in this no friend zone for a long period of time, that's fine. I have no friends, by the way. I'm not saying it's wrong to have no friends, but what I'm saying, it can cause stress, and you can become reactive to that stress, okay? Which then can make you do impulsive decision-making process, which is less likely than a woman to have impulsive decision-making process. A guy is probably more likely to have an impulsive decision. And so when they're stressed, if you're not given an opportunity to talk about it, if you're not given an opportunity to let this stress go, it is important. As a man, you are allowed to heal, okay? You are allowed to cry. You are allowed to be vulnerable. You're a human being. Why are you expected to not allow yourself to regulate this emotion? It sounds ludicrous to me, You're a human being. How can you possibly be happy constantly 24/7? How can you go through life to not ever being able to allow yourself to cry and not feel guilty and shame over it? It's wrong, the way it's been set up. And I believe, as a woman, I honestly think it is a quality to have. If you can actually have emotional intelligence, if you can recognize that you are going through something right now, maybe that's what you're going through, and you want to let it out. I find that very, very actually a more complete man in my eyes, in my perspective as a woman. I see it as a more complete, because if we look at a man, right, and they never allow to show their emotions or show that side of them, then we're not having the full experience of a human emotion. So how can you fully be a full human being like that? Why would that make you less of a person? If anything, it's going to make you more of a person, And not only that, I honestly believe in the long term, it allows you to be more stable in your mind and in your body and your soul. Because if you learn how to regulate it this time, then you know how to regulate the emotions when you next have another stress, because stress is always going to happen, so you can then manage that situation, and you can feel much better about that situation, actually. And you're not going to feel like it's like extreme, like yes, no, like, that's the mind, there's no in between. There's no, how can we regulate this? How can we see the better solutions here, because you have no one to talk to? So there's just an extreme of decision-making process, which can be quite impulsive, which, if given the chance to actually express and talk about it and share your journey and share things, then maybe you don't feel that pressure because you're letting it go each time. And so, when you have these tools to express that later on, it's just going to become a thing where when it comes to a situation, you're like, okay, this is a stressful situation. Okay, I'm here with this. Doesn't mean that if I've got no friends, I'm a loser. That's it. It's over. I'm never going to get this. No, it doesn't mean any of that. Okay. And I don't know what I'm doing with this video. I just feel called to talk about it. I know I'm not a man. I just know I'm a woman with no friends. And I know how it feels to have no friends. And it can, even as a woman, can feel very... you can feel very, alone in your experience. And that's why I made that video. And I was shocked when I saw all the responses of other women saying they have no friends. And I think the same here would be great. I mean, if you're a man with no friends, I just don't want you to feel like you're the only one with no friends. I don't want you to feel like it's hopeless. I don't want you to feel like you're the only man here with no friends. No, that's not the case. And I'm not here to encourage loneliness. I'm not here to encourage anti-friends. I'm here to encourage you to have quality friends. I'm here for you to encourage your healing process. Like, you're a man, you can heal if you need time. Sometimes you have no friends because you have maybe some trauma. There's some childhood trauma that you haven't dealt with, and that's fine. I come from my mother's very narcissistic, and it's taken me a long time, even to this day, to try and heal from that. And maybe that has a correlation to why I have no friends, and that's fine. I have to go through my healing process, and that's what I'm doing. And the more I heal and the more you heal, you might find you have less friends, because you're on a path to maybe on a self-discovery, trying to find yourself, and you've never been in that place before in your life. And it's okay to do that. I really want you to understand, it's okay to cry. It's okay to heal. It's okay to feel these things. It's totally okay. Man or woman, it doesn't matter. We're human beings at the end of the day. And that's what is important here. And if you have no friends right now, it doesn't mean like it's going to last like this forever. If you have other stresses in your life as a man, it doesn't mean it's going to last forever. I promise you. But maybe this might be a place just if, I don't know, maybe if, I don't even know if there's going to be one guy that's even going to comment on this, but if there's any guys here that have no friends, and it could be you've moved places, you decided you cut some people off, you want a new path, maybe the friends you're hanging around with are not, they're not the path that you want to go to. Maybe you've had some fake friends, maybe you've had some people that have backstabbed you, maybe you've had people that have just taken from you, and you've decided, actually, I'm just going to retract now. It's too much. Maybe there are some trauma. Maybe you need to heal yourself. Maybe you need some time for yourself and that's okay. Maybe you're an introverted man, and that's okay. There's no stigma about being an introverted man. No. They expect everyone to be extrovert. I'm an introvert. It's okay. We're all different. So if you're a man and you have no friends right now, or whatever it is, please comment below, because I think what I found from the other video I've done with women with no friends, we've had thousands of comments of other women that have no friends. I was actually a bit in shock, the amount of comments there are on that video, because I was just like, I honestly thought there was just going to be like a few, or I thought, there'll be a few out there that would meet some others that they're in the same position as me. But I was just shocked. And you don't understand how healing it is actually to read other comments of people that are going through similar things that you are. It's and I really think it'll be really helpful for men, actually, that if you see other men sharing their experience in these comments below, and I just really want to create this to be a very safe space here where you can express yourself without any judgment here. That's what my channel is all about. We don't judge here, and we're here to just let it go. Do you know what I mean? You're a human being. You're allowed to have emotions. But yeah, what I find is, please, if you can, if you really can, please, if you're a guy, please try and share your experience of having no friends. Maybe how you felt. Maybe if you haven't been able to express that, maybe you're on a healing journey right now. Maybe you are getting to a place where you feel more comfortable expressing yourself and your emotions, and that is okay. And I think it's very good if you're at that place where you are accepting that, because honestly, I really do think it makes you more of a man, not less than a man, actually, to express your emotions. And I just think it's going to be really helpful if you're a guy and you can see other comments from men sharing their journey, and just seeing that from another guy going, oh, actually, I have no friends, and this is my journey, and this is where I'm at, and yeah, this is how I felt. I can express my emotions, all this. Whatever it is, please share. Because even reading another comment from a guy, I think it's really going to help, because men are not encouraged to talk about this. Men are not allowed to talk about it in a way. You are allowed to talk about it, and I'm giving you the space here, please, to talk about it. I just hope at least this has helped one guy. And even if you're a woman and you have something positive to say and encouraging to say, I think that healing energy, and I think the compassionate, empathic side of a woman is always going to be there. That just is the way our brains are. And I think that can also help maybe to see that from maybe some guys might see some comments from some women with some encouraging words and stuff as well. So I think that might be quite nice as well. So yeah, any of the Nana Journey community, feel free to comment as well, because I know you guys come with peace and positivity and a place of healing. And yes, so look, if this just helps one guy, I'm happy. Okay, I'm just happy with that. But yeah, I was encouraged to make this video just by the comments from my other video. And you know what, I was a bit, I didn't know if I was going to talk about this, and then I felt something, I had to talk about this for some reason. It's like, why can't I talk about it? I can, I guess, but I don't rarely see other women. I guess you always hear it from another guy, their experience, but just my perspective from a woman's point of view. I don't know if that helps in any way. I don't know if I'm going to keep this video, and I'll just see how I feel about it, because obviously I'm not a man and I don't live your experience. But yes, I hope this was helpful in any way. And just know that you're not alone in your journey. There are other men out there that are going through stuff, and it is okay to express your emotions, and actually it can make you more of a well-rounded man, human being. And so please have no shame in that. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay.